Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of the popular program How to Expand Your Reach, Impact More Lives, and Get Your Message Out to a wider audience. And I got to tell you, I am fired up here today because we are going to deal with one of my favorites in terms of questions I like to ask during the enrollment conversation. All right, now we have all been there before. We're talking to a prospective client. We are having a lot of good back and forth. There's some good discussion, right? And you're like, boy, this is awesome. This is great. This person's going to work with me. And then we get to the money part, don't we? And we can feel ourselves slow down. We can feel everything kind of getting a little bit tight. Before it was fancy free and all easy, and now suddenly we're talking about money, and you can see the look and their body language has changed. And I try to tell people it does not have to be like that. As a matter of fact, imagine a reality where you are talking to a prospective client and you're talking to them about what it is that you do and how it is that you serve and what it is that you in terms of a cost and investment, and they just say yes and they just work with you. Imagine in a reality where when you're talking to a prospective client, you're not nervous. They're not nervous. Imagine a reality where it is not feeling like you're being salesy or pushy or anything like that, because you're just having a nice, comfortable conversation with that person and they are saying yes. And what I want to talk with you about today is a question that I use to be able to help facilitate that money conversation that you're having when you're enrolling people, to be able to help you move forward. Now, here's the question, real easy. It is this. It is, what is it that makes you feel like this is something that you want to be working on right now? Let me say it again, and then I'll give some context. What is it that's making you feel like that this is something that you want to work on right now? All right, so let me unpack that a little bit for us, okay? So what happens is, a lot of times, let me make a point and then we'll unpack it. A lot of times what happens is, we as coaches, consultants, the same thing. What we have is, we take a look at a need and we see a person as having a high need, and we mistake that for having a high desire, and then we try to make the money work. I was actually talking with that with Deb and I. We were talking about that with a client. There's a high need, and we mistake that for a high desire, and then we turn around and try to make the money work. So what happens is this: the person has a need. There's a challenge, issue, or circumstance that you as a coach, you're like, I know I can help them. I know I can deal with that. They're telling me about this high need, whatever. Problem is, we mistake that for a high desire. Brian, what are you talking about, high desire? A high desire to want to change. A high desire to want to move. A high desire to want to get into action. A high desire to want to do something about it. And then from there, we try to make the money work. Okay? So the reason I bring that up is, when you're asking this question of what's making you want to be able to do that, what's making you want to feel like you can work on this right now, okay, when you're dealing with that, what happens is you are getting a feel for their desire. Am I making sense? Okay? People start off and they talk about, like we just said, they talk about the actual need. We get that. The money, we'll talk about that. But the desire. Now, what I do is I don't ask this question like right off the bat. So I'll ask a few questions, do a few things, blah, 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 go back and forth. About 3 or 4 questions in, I'll be like, you know what? Sally, all of this sounds awesome. If you don't mind, and honestly, this is the first call. If you don't mind me asking, what is it that's making you feel like this is something that you want to work on right now? Like, what's making you even talk with me in the first place? Now, if you get kind of this wishy-washy, oh, well, I'm just a learner, and I'm just learning, and I love learning, right? It's like the goal. That's how I felt like when we actually won the White House back. Goal! But I digress. Anyway, when you're dealing and talking to people, you need for them to understand that you're a service practitioner. A lot of people, and this is why they get into free coaching and why they have such a hard time with the money conversation, people will love talking with you just to talk about their issues and their problems and their challenges. And they will take pages and pages and pages of notes while you're talking for free. But My mortgage doesn't pay for itself. I've tried to get my girlfriend to pay for it for me. I've asked her 5 separate occasions, hey, listen, Deb, do you mind just paying the mortgage for me for the next 10 years and I'll just, not pay the mortgage? She's like, no, she's not taking that deal. I don't know why. Maybe you can give me some tips in the comment section on how to deal with that. But the mortgage doesn't pay for itself. Okay, so what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to figure out right off the bat, 10, 15 minutes, is this person really, I know they have a need, do they have the desire? And then from there, the money part works out. And that's what I told you, right? I said by asking this question, it will enable you to have a much more comfortable money conversation with people, because then all you're doing is saying, hey, listen, Sally, I know that you said you have this problem and this problem, and I know that the reason that you're working on this now is because of this and this, and here's what it is that I can do to help you get from here to there, and here's what the investment is. Now, sometimes they take it, sometimes they don't, but now it's no longer this, I don't know if it's am I charging the right amount, right? And feeling like it's this huge, huge deal, all right? So that's what you can do. It will absolutely make your life so much easier. And as a matter of fact, feel free to like, share, or comment below. I'd love to be able to hear your thoughts. I actually handle all comments personally, so if you have something to say, put it right there and there below, and I will take a look at it. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.